Did this Katy Perry music video tell us what's really served at the exclusive parties? In Bon Appétit, they depict her being prepared like a high-end dish at a restaurant. She is tossed in flour, placed on a cutting board, and covered in garnishes as if she were the entree. The imagery was insanely dark and left many wondering what in the world this video was trying to imply. This was an awfully strange theme for a pop song visual, but as disturbing as it was, this isn't the only one using this dark imagery. It appears that this bizarre theme is more common than you would expect. From Melanie Martinez being turned into a dessert for a rich woman's delight, to the Chainsmokers showing a disturbing party where the guests are on the menu. Today, we are breaking down all these videos to try and figure out exactly what they're trying to tell us. By the end of this breakdown, you will ask yourself what's really going on in Hollywood. Back in 2017, Katy Perry and the Migos released a very strange music video for their hit song Bon Appétit. The visual is currently sitting at 1.4 billion views, but strangely back then, no one found any of this unusual. Nowadays, with everything revealed about Hollywood, people are looking at the imagery completely differently. You can find countless people in the comments of this video who cannot believe this was openly depicted. The video starts with Katy Perry wrapped like a package of meat inside a giant freezer. A group of cooks open the packaging, pull her out, and begin to prep her for cooking. She is tossed in flour, her body is kneaded like dough, and she is placed on a cutting board where she is covered in garnishes. The way the chefs were shown kneading her body in the flour was bizarre and almost felt like she was being massaged. I bring that up because we all know who was infamous for massages. What happens next makes all this the more disturbing. After she's properly seasoned and garnished, she is tossed into a giant boiling pot to simmer. The chefs begin to create a sauce as they stir the pot. They then place her on a tray, decorate her, and bring her out to what appears to be an exclusive gathering. This is where the Migos are depicted hanging out and partying. The people are then shown getting ready to enjoy their meal. And then it literally ends with Katy flipping the script on them and turning them into a pie she enjoys. As bubbly and silly as it was depicted, this was an insanely dark, twisted visual. They quite literally depicted a group turning Katy Perry into a high-end dish for people to enjoy during a private gathering. I mean, there aren't many other ways to interpret this imagery. The premise was pretty direct. They served her like a dish at an exclusive gathering. Because of all of the insane stories we've been hearing, this video has recently begun recirculating online, with many people concluding that it could possibly be showing us what happens at those functions. I understand why they believe this. When you watch the video, there aren't many other ways to explain the visuals. It does seem to be a visualization of all those wild stories about these ultra-private gatherings we hear about online. This video instantly reminded me of Abramovich's exclusive gatherings, which had a very similar theme to what we saw in this music video. She held this exclusive art event where they served cakes that were shaped and decorated like a human body. The entire thing was a part of the weird performance art events she's famous for. I actually made a full video on this event and all her other strange antics over on my Patreon. I went deep into what these stunts secretly meant and how far she took things in the name of art. You're not gonna believe what this woman tries to pass as a performance. So, if you want to get access to that video and over 65 others, join me on Patreon. You can find the link in the description and pin in the comments. Now, what many people want to know is if this video was in any way meant to be an inside look at what goes down at those events. Was Katy showing us what she could have experienced at one of those functions she attended? While she doesn't ever explain why she chose this specific theme for the video, I found it interesting how she depicts herself stopping the group and then turning them into a pie. It almost gives off a rebellious vibe, as if she's calling out the industry for this behavior. But then again, she just dropped the Watch It Burn video where she depicts herself becoming possessed, burning down a city, and getting baptized, so who knows? I literally just covered that visual, and again, it has all this strange imagery that leaves you wondering what she might have meant by it. But the Bon Appétit music video wasn't the only one that depicted this twisted imagery. We see a very similar story in Melanie Martinez's video for The Bakery. This video starts with a giant bunny cracking an egg that Melanie falls out of into a bowl. The bunny then mixes it all together with flour and eggs, turning her into a dough ball. It then grabs a rolling pin and proceeds to flatten her out, placing the dough into a baking sheet and then into an oven where we watch Melanie bake. She is then pulled out and decorated before being shoved into a pastry box and delivered to what appears to be a rich old woman. The woman is then shown eating the cookie as Melanie drools red paint with a sinister grin on her face. This visual was insanely dark. Again, we see a music video depicting a celebrity being served as a dish to people who appear to be high class. This one felt darker than Katy's video, especially since a giant bunny is prepping her. There's something that feels demonic about a giant humanoid bunny cheerfully turning a pop star into a cookie while dancing. As innocent as they make it appear, it reminded me of the monster from Donnie Darko. Those of you who have seen that movie should know exactly what I'm talking about. In that movie, they depict a creature named Frank. The writer and director Richard Kelly drew inspiration for the character from European folklore, specifically the puka, a mischievous, shape-shifting spirit often appearing as a rabbit or a man in a rabbit form that brings warnings or doom. So I wonder if this is why they chose a bunny as the character preparing Melina in the video. Was it meant to be foreshadowing for what happens at the end of the video? Now, Donnie Darko is also a really dark, twisted movie that reveals so much. I think that is a film that truly requires a breakdown. If you want to see that, comment Donnie Darko below. If enough of you are interested, I'll make sure that's the very next video. This has to be the darkest scene when you really think about it. At this part, they show the cookies being made in a factory. The bunnies were literally making boxes of pop star cookies, discreetly delivering them to rich exclusive customers, almost as if it were a full-on global operation. This leaves us with the same questions as always. What is the point of utilizing this concept for this song? Why is something so unspeakable being presented so cheerfully and comically? Could they really blame people if they felt this was in some way glamorizing this unspeakable act? Now, while this video depicted a factory-like operation with door-to-door delivery service, Kanye's music video for Monster shows who might be buying those treats. In that visual, we see Kanye, Jay-Z, Rick Ross, and Nicki Minaj visualizing how much of a monster they are. This video has to be the darkest of them all. In fact, it was so dark it was never officially released. It didn't get uploaded to Vivo or Kanye's official YouTube channel, and MTV banned it out of fear of backlash from the public because of the dark themes. It eventually surfaced online years later, and I can see why they hid this video. The visual depicted the same type of behavior we saw in Melanie Martinez's video. There's a scene in Monster that shows Rick Ross closing the room door while in the back you spot a woman lying on a dining room table like if he was about to have a nice meal. This kind of imagery is found all over this video, again leaving you with the same questions as before. The music video is called Monster, so why are they showing themselves in a mansion depicting this as their food? Shouldn't they have just been wearing Halloween costumes or something if they were monsters? This whole thing was dark and gothic and makes you wonder what they were trying to imply with this imagery. Now, these stars aren't the only one with this type of visual. The Chainsmokers music video for You Owe Me depicted a similar wild private dinner that ended horrifically. In that video, we see the pair preparing a delicious dinner. Unlike what we saw in all the other videos, they're using normal ingredients. After they finish preparing dinner, their guests arrive, and what happens next is the stuff of nightmares. As they begin to enjoy their meal, the Chainsmokers morph into vampires and begin to feast. When they are satisfied, they discard what's left in the garbage like unwanted leftovers. It is quite sinister, and again depicted the same twisted theme we saw in the Monster music video, and similar to what we can find in the Dua Lipa and Megan Thee Stallion visual for Sweetest Pie. In that video, Megan and Dua depict themselves like sirens luring in men to their demise. The video starts with two guys walking through a forest when they spot a strange-looking tree. Out of nowhere, it opens to reveal Megan and Dua inside, trying to convince the guys to follow them. The pair are then fattened up with cupcakes and sweets before being tossed into a boiling pot. This is when Dua Lipa transforms into this terrifying-looking spider monster who chases after the men. This visual had some very wicked imagery, especially at the end where Megan is seen floating on a giant serpent throne. This whole concept seems to depict the pair as spider witches who use their beauty to prey on men. You have to truly ask yourself why this imagery is necessary. Across all of these music videos, from hip-hop to pop, we see the same story being told, and oftentimes, it doesn't even match the theme of the song. So why do artists do this? Are they just picking dark concepts to go viral and sell more music? Or are they implying something else with this imagery? To me, it doesn't seem like this helps. As we saw with the Monster music video, this theme was rejected because MTV execs felt it was too dark to show on TV. And I agree, teens watching the channel getting ready for school shouldn't be exposed to this stuff. I don't see there being that much marketing value in promoting yourself with these insanely twisted visuals. Yet the biggest artists in the world repeatedly use this concept. Why do you think they do it? I want to know your thoughts below. Honestly, it is crazy to think that this stuff is even put in these videos so casually. But this isn't only found in music videos. Not that long ago, I covered What You Wish For, a movie that showed this exact same theme. That film was truly dark and depicted exactly what something like that could look like if it were real. If you want to see what You Wish For revealed about the industry parties, watch this video right now. And if you want to further support the channel, consider becoming a Patreon member. When you join, you support the channel and get over 65 exclusive videos. Another way to support the channel is by subscribing and hyping this video. Your hype literally tells the algorithm that more people need to see this. Well, that's it for this video. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.